My name is Rich Carlson. I am a chaplain and player development coach for University of Dayton Baseball. I'm also a chaplain, Latino chaplain for the Dayton Dragons, which is a Cincinnati Reds organization. Now, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of history. I'm actually Puerto Rican. You couldn't tell. I really am. I'm the whitest Puerto Rican in my family. And when I was young, my mother passed away, and I was put in the streets. I was in many foster care homes. My dad was physically abusive, and so I had a rough start. Became part of the Latin Kings. My brother was King Tone in Jersey, so I was thrusted into some crazy stuff. I ran away from being Latino. I ran away from it because I didn't want to have anything to do with, Puerto Ricans are bad people. Puerto Ricans are this. Puerto Ricans are that. I didn't want to associate with it. And I ran away for a very long time. Over the last 6 years, God called me back to my heritage. I had a hard time with that. Because I lost a lot of Spanish. Lost the ability to speak it. Started to go to Central America to do some mission trips. Went to Dominican. I ministered to my players all season. And I really started to realize I am who I am. My birth name is Ricardo Rivera. That was my birth name. I ran away from it. And Martin Luther King was about not wanting us to run away from who we were. I have this quote here. We have to look at where we're at, how far we've come. How do we intertwine faith-based and civic duty? Now, I firmly believe Martin Luther King was the father of faith-based initiatives. I do. The problem is people weren't ready to hear it. We've got to separate. We can't have church in the schools. We can't have church in the government. Let's separate. It's different. Civic duty is different. Martin Luther King is saying it's not. Shouldn't be judged by our colors, right? Shouldn't be judged because I'm Puerto Rican, right? Martin Luther King was saying you can be judged for your moral character. So as I look back at the junk that I was involved in, I had a friend of mine, my mentor, who judged me for my moral character. He says, look, I love you. It has nothing to do with you being Puerto Rican. It has everything to do with you making the wrong decisions. I was 12 years old. 12 years old, I got jumped into the Latin Kings. I was 13 years old when my girlfriend came to me and said she was pregnant. I was 13 and a half when my girlfriend came to me and said she had an abortion. Because I was making some stupid mistakes. I thought it was cool. I thought, well, the gang life, they love me. They love me. They didn't love me. They love what I can do for them. That's a rough life. But I made those decisions. I had to man up to those decisions. And y'all ladies, it took a woman, May Carlson, to finally say, you know what? I don't care who you are. I don't care what nationality you are. I don't care. I don't care that you're involved in a gang. I don't care. I love you. And there's so much better out there for you. I firmly believe we're all leaders. We can lead one, two ways. We can lead down a bad path, or we can lead down a good path. A true testament to a leader is not that we lead complacent followers, but that we elevate other leaders around us. So, if you're a follower, stop. Stop. Because let me tell you something. When you get to that point, and some of you will, the cold hard fact is this: we will get to that point. You will get to that point. You will sit before a judge. You will stand before judgment. And And I promise you, in a court of law, your friends will be nowhere around. Well, Judge, I kind of got caught up. Where are your friends? In my case, my friend Aaron Miles, he ended up being involved in the drive-by. Being a Latin king, he was in the Crips. It sucked. Martin Luther King has a great thought process. People weren't ready. We used to use that excuse, people aren't ready. People aren't ready. Why not? Why aren't you ready to lead? Why aren't you? Why are we so complacent and so just settled in to want to follow? Martin Luther King, and I'm going to close it out with this. Martin Luther King talked about his children. He talked about a dream. And I'm not an iPad guy, so you have to excuse me here. I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. You know, we talk about living by the sword and dying by the sword. What's your sword? What's your sword? I've had a rough life. Made some bad decisions. But you know what? God brought me to a point that I can make a positive impact. I'm a founder for Power 3 Ministries, where we deal with anti-gang, anti-violence. I've got some guys in my ministry that are involved in gangs. But I have some guys who were involved in gangs who are now having A's and B's. I've got guys who are now playing sports. I got one guy who's getting ready to put an application to go to UC. You have to make that decision. It's got to be intentional. I'm wearing this band, and our church is doing an initiative, and I thought, hey, love God, love people, be intentional. That's very much what Martin Luther King was about. Loving God, loving people, and being intentional. How are you going to be intentional when you're leaving here? How are you going to do it? You're going to follow? You're going to lead? My hope and prayer that during the rest of this hour, that you really start to evaluate who you are, where you're at, and where you're going. A friend of mine once said, can't know where you're going, you don't know where you've been. Stop embracing the junk in